It's fair to say we will all want the genuine article. We want the real thing. Let me propose a question to you. Given the real thing and an indistinguishable fake, which has more value? On one hand, many will believe that the real thing has more value because in its essence it is intrinsically real. On the other hand, the fake in its deliberate attempt to be real has more worth than the real thing. All this can be derived from freshman philosophy debates on the theories of fundamental good and evil, but that's not why we're here and not why I'm spouting lame intro-level philosophy that can be found in anime. For a moment, think about the perfect switch in your mind, whether it be an Ergo-Clear, a modded Gator Blue, a Panda-Clear, a Zelio, etc. The perfect switch in our mind is limited by the market. We can only decide what's the perfect switch based on what's available to buy, create, and modify. For a random person, the true best switch for them may be 47 gram blues. Of course, 47 gram springs don't exist, so they're stuck with whatever's available, close to their desires and preferences. In this capacity, at the moment of this review, Mod H switches are the perfect MX tactile switch for me. In the future, I may find an even more perfect MX tactile switch, but I haven't discovered it yet. The discovery of your ideal switch is done through experimentation, trial, and effort. For many enthusiasts, it's a trap. It's a Sisyphean struggle, forever chasing that next best thing for another one just to roll around. This switch, this fake that is indistinguishable from the real perfect ideal switch, has just as much value as a real switch, real perfect switch, because it's the best I've typed on. This keyboard is a Redscarf68 with Mod H switches with a full acrylic low profile case. On the top of this keyboard we have some Enjoy PBT die-subbed keycaps. Underneath we have a Redscarf 2 Plus PCB with underglow PCBs. The case is a nice frosted acrylic which does well to diffuse the LEDs. I definitely wish they'd offer this in a high profile version like they do their aluminum cases. Assembling this keyboard was easy enough. I went with Win-Keyless bottom row, split backspace, tapped caps lock, something cool that many 65 keyboards share, which is conveniently placed arrow keys and the navigation cluster on the right side. Of course, this is all programmable. You don't have to have an arrow cluster or navigation keys. You can be whatever you want. I've tuned this to my uses and how I will be using this keyboard. I won't be filling out Excel sheets on this keyboard, but I'll have a great time typing and playing some video games. Programming the keyboard, while odd in concept and execution, works pretty well once you understand the system. The keyboard connects to your computer and is detected as a printer once it's plugged in. There isn't even a button on the PCB, just hold down the escape key when you plug in your keyboard and you will, in a way, print your layout to your keyboard. You just use your keyboard layout editor to make your layout, upload it to the website a few clicks, and then bam, you're basically done. I had some issues at first, but nothing in the end was too difficult. It was pretty easy once I realized I had the whole thing spaced incorrectly. So, segueing on to, I guess, why many people wouldn't even care for this review. Mod H switches. These are the prototypes, although the final versions won't be different aside from an orange slider instead of a gray one. They actuate at 65 grams and bottom out at 80 grams. They have a pretty nice tactile bump from KBDist. Mod switches, quote, are said to have softer POM stems for smoother slider action and a strong tactile bump, end quote. While I agree that they have a strong tactile bump, I feel like the smoothness of the sliders is a little disappointing compared to its bump. It's not that the switch isn't smooth, it's just that the smoothness doesn't feel as premium as the bump. And regardless, it's still an exceptional switch. All of that can be tuned by lubing it in a certain way. With this combination, the acrylic case definitely doesn't soften the bottoming out sounds, making this a louder than average keyboard for those who type with more urgency. So when I've assembled the whole ensemble together, what's the result? It's no endgame keyboard by my standards. It definitely holds its weight against most customs, although I'd have to give credit to that solely due to the switches as opposed to the case, plate, and PCB. The layout of this keyboard, and I'm talking about the 65% part, not the split backspace, step caps lock, and Win-Keyless bottom row, is a layout that's quite attractive to a lot of people. People want to get smaller in a TKL, but they don't want to jump all the way to 60% because of arrow keys, and this is probably the best layout to still have your arrow keys but shrink down. This size, with its layout options, makes for a very attractive keyboard for many. The underglow RGB LEDs can be changed with a nifty remote that is pretty appealing to many people. You put all these things together, all these parts, and you have this keyboard. Earlier I was asked which has more value, the genuine thing, the real thing, or an indistinguishable fake. For me, they have the same value because I won't ever have anything better than something trying to be its best for me, and that's Mod H switches. Those switches have such an impact. I feel like this keyboard is more of an accessory to those switches as opposed to those switches being an accessory to the keyboard. In no way is the identity of the keyboard tied to the case, only the switches. And when you type on this keyboard, it no longer becomes a Redscarf, but instead it becomes a keyboard that happens to have Mod H switches on it. It's a Mod H keyboard wrapped in Redscarf, and that's why I really love this keyboard. Thank you for watching.